I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I am the Dungeon Master, and this is Dragons of War. We rejoin the party as they are waking up outside of the Starfall Caverns, where they recently stopped the Draugr from raising some dread spirit with the power of the meteor, and Scout and Gorakul and Pesci had uh, gone.
Elodie.
Elodie had gone on ahead afterwards and are coming back out of the cave in the morning, somewhat exhausted, as you guys are just waking up, and Scout has something to say about some tracks that he found.
Morning, everyone. So, during the night, we seem to have found some kobolds that were coming up on our camp. And luckily for us, Garakul spoke Draconic and managed to make a peace treaty with them of sorts. And we found we were given a necklace by them, which allows us to understand languages that are not our native tongue. But they seem to be leaving us alone.
Specifically Draconic.
Okay. Remind me what Draconic is. Says out of character, Zarish.
It's basically what we those of dragon folk are.
Dracont. Okay, I got it. I'm sorry. I understand now. Right, back in character. Thank you. Okay.
So
Sounds
really
very
quick,
useful.
out of character, really quick. So the last session, or rather 2 sessions ago, we finished um, we stopped the ritual and then we left the caves. Was that the deal?
Right, and you were camping outside of the caves.
Okay, great. And so we still had a whole bunch of area within there that we haven't explored yet.
Mm-hmm.
But what?
So I guess Pesci at this point would say, yes, it's very nice that you managed to stop a nighttime attack on us. I really appreciate it. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff down there that I need to show you guys that I didn't get a chance to explain to you. There should be more amazing things that I can explain and potentially even reenact for you.
I don't know if that's the best use of our time.
And if I'm honest, we should make sure to reunite this piece of the star with the rest of the star. Also,
We enjoy your performances, though, Pesci. We do appreciate them.
Just not right now.
Also, Pesci, do you know how to turn a crystal into a container?
I know a guy.
All right. Then everyone, let's hoist this. And Gorakul sort of walks over to the piece of the star and says, "Let's lift up this piece and bring it back to the main body of the star."
Why? What will that do?
Well, it will certainly have all the pieces in one place.
So, should we go back through the caverns to get to the main star? What's around? We're outside of the caves. Are we? Obviously, we came out in a different location than we entered, or are we in the same place that we entered?
You're in the same place that you entered.
Okay. So we basically came back out, retracing where we were. So can we see the remainder of the star in front of us?
The crater, yeah.
So Gorakul, the star should be there at the bottom of the crater.
No, it should be in the outside of the crater.
Right,
So,
we're outside right now.
oh, I thought we were sort of resting where the star piece was.
No, it sounds like we're resting outside, the same place we entered into the underground caverns.
Then we should get the star piece and bring it outside.
Okay, I believe we've already done that. So visually, Dungeon Master, is there a map that we can reference ourselves on right now?
You guys are outside of the crater where the cave led down into the caverns, and you're just on the hillside of where the crater hit.
Where we fought the green slimes.
Yep.
So if the
And we
star
did a long rest. Is that the deal?
Not Elodie and Scout and Gorakul, but everybody else, yes.
Okay. I still have wounds. I didn't long rest, I think, because I still have slots used.
Okay.
So the rest of the star should be right there. If it's here, Gorakul, it should be right there.
Are you trying to convince us to go back underground, Garkle? Is that the deal?
No. I think
You just want us to...
An out of character confusion. I thought we didn't bring it up outside.
We have brought it outside.
Okay.
Good. So Gorakul started looking at the star, saying, In any case, we should try and bring the entire star back to civilization for further examination.
Okay. So you want to bring the meteorite back with us to town, correct?
Yes, though I
Okay.
still would call it a star.
Yeah, this is out of character. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. That's something that we probably should do. Pesci, so we don't want to go back into the dungeon though, or into the cavern system. You don't think that's a good use of our time?
I don't, unless somebody else does.
I mean, there could be other items or other notes or other things down there that we just didn't get to. But if the entire point was to stop this ritual, there could be another piece of the star, basically, is what I'm getting at.
Well, I feel that we have gone underground, and since I didn't enjoy the last time I went underground,
DM, did we if Garkul holds the current piece up of this of what we took from underground back up with us, is that covering the entire segment of the meteorite that fell? Like, does it replace everything?
The whole meteorite is big, and there wasn't like necessarily an entire meteorite there to begin with, so you guys, don't know how much there is or isn't, but the long way around to the short answer is that no, you do not have 100% of a perfect round meteorite.
So something is missing.
no, it's also possible that it just burned up and fragmented while it fell into the ground.
Exactly.
So, are we sure that there are no more fragments in this section, in this cavern system?
Well, but I mean, that's like proving a negative. You can never be sure that there are or aren't, things there unless you're willing to spend years excavating the whole site.
I think we take the fragment, Oracle, and I think we go back into town. If you want to show this to somebody, or there's somebody that you think needs to see it,
Well, it would be better to examine it in civilization than having the entire star being exposed to more threats.
How much of this? How much of a meteorite is here, DM? Is it like a very large boulder, or is it something that we could transport?
There's a huge 5-foot round geode like rock that has broken into several pieces, and so like there's the bottom half of the shell that you guys found the slimes in, and then he's got like a top quarter piece.
Okay. So it sounds like we have to go back to town and marshal up some workers to help us transport this out.
Of
Garkul.
course, we could ask the help of those orcs.
we could, but let's not mess with them if we don't need to. But what you expect to do with this piece when you get into town? What's the purpose of this? Are we going to ask about it to see?
Examination, my dear bugbear.
And you have tools in town at your house that you can use to examine this?
Of course.
What tools specifically do you have?
He has a astrologer's kit that allows him to do all kinds of research involving the stars. So.
And you don't have that with you. That's at home.
I don't have the full thing with me. I only have some pieces.
Okay. Well, then I think it's. Do you have enough of a piece to do the examination you need to examine?
I only managed to do so much with what I have.
Right, but I'm saying when you get back to you don't need any more of this stone to do the examination you wish to do.
No, we need to bring the whole stone.
It sounds like that may be very difficult to do. Is it possible for me to lift another quarter of it or a chunk of it?
Well, you being the very strong bugbear that you are, you can carry the one piece, the top piece, but that would not be a good use of your strength if you're going to try and carry the bottom piece, because that's the heavy piece that they're going to need your help with. But you can't do it alone, so.
Okay. So it sounds.
Why don't we rig a some sort of wagon system? There's a whole bunch of wood here. Maybe we can quickly build a wagon, assist in transportation.
You're going to build a wagon?
Put the rock in the
No,
wagon?
it doesn't need to be that complicated. We just need to have enough of a thing so that there's a platform and that there's minimal connection with the ground.
Spoken like a true engineer.
I'm more trying to figure out what kind of wheel system you're gonna try to.
You don't need wheels. You can do. There's a couple different ways you could do it. You could do what the Egyptians did and just lay logs down and just roll something across
Yeah, that way.
for the massive stone blocks, or something
Who's
else.
gonna move all these logs?
Zarash.
Look, it sounds to me like we don't need the whole rock. It sounds to me like we have enough of the rock to do the examinations required.
No, if we leave this rock out in the open, then it's bound to be used for evil.
Well, then let's go back and get some help because I can't carry it myself.
Yeah, I think that's the best way.
I think that's the
Caracol.
best way.
Probably will need to hire some assistance, and we can also bring a wagon with us from the village.
Yes.
That actually sounds like a good idea.
Okay. So then, if all are agreed, we are off. We are off. Elodie, stop giving us so much opinions.
I don't even. The thing is, I missed a lot of this plot line, so I don't really know fully what we're trying to accomplish.
Well, right now we're trying to figure out where this star comes from and what it means.
I missed all
Okay.
So the star itself was what caused these Draugr to become undead and become undead. So we're trying to transport this to a safer spot.
That was a succinct summary.
There you go. Okay. Off we go.
Pesci acts this out in a more exaggerated fashion,
So we're off.
which I don't have the energy right now to think up.
We're definitely not in character.
So you just leave both pieces of the meteorite?
I'll grab the one that I can carry.
Okay, so that one is still very heavy, and Zarash struggles under the weight unless somebody helps him.
Who's going to help me? All right. The ranger's going to help me.
I imagine-
Lucy goes to try to help, but you find that your feline strength is not in strength.
Okay.
How about this? How about we move what we can out from the cavern system, hide it, bring a small chunk that we can carry back with us to town to help us convince people to come back out with transportation.
And also,
Well, actually, or Scout can help me. I'm sure Scout's got the strength.
Did someone just
Scout starts setting up a camp to guard the piece that's going to be left behind. Not talking to while doing it, just he goes and starts setting up a camp.
So Scout's gonna stay behind and guard, but has not conveyed that to anyone. He just is silently going about the task that he knows must be done.
Gorakul sort of sees this and says, I think me and Scout will go ahead and watch this piece while you go gather the townsfolk.
Well, you have to go do the analysis.
Well, he wants to analyze the entire thing, I think.
Yes.
So we need to go back to town and get people to come out with us to help us transport.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so let's quickly go back to town.
Okay, so Gorakul and Scout are remaining at the site.
I imagine maybe the caster will also do that. The magician. Wizard?
Katla.
Katla.
So
Because Lucy's starting to pace.
Lucy's getting impatient, right?
All right.
No,
Lucy and Zarash, let the three of us go back to town to gather help. I believe it looks like Scout is setting up some sort of encampment that they can use to help protect the meteorite here, while we go back and gather assistance to help us transport it,
okay, or maybe even a wagon and a lever. All right,
and potentially a wagon,
potentially a wagon.
maybe.
Okay.
Can I also go with the group that's going to the
Yes, you're gonna come to the town with us.
Yes, please.
So, who's staying behind? Scout, Gorakul, and
Katla, it looks like.
Katla?
Yep.
And Katla's staying behind because...
Because Gorakul suggested it.
Should there be a ranger or some sort of melee character that stays behind to help protect them?
That's Scout.
They seem kind of squishy.
Scout's a melee character.
Scout.
Well, I'm just
Okay.
saying that Scout and Gorakul might have in-character reasons for wanting to stay behind. I don't know that Katla does.
Probably not, but Gorakul suggested it, and Katla was.
Not here.
Katla has the prophecy about the stars.
Does it matter?
It might.
I don't think it really matters much.
Well, yeah,
Unless-
of course it does. There's an unwritten rule in RPGs about splitting the party, and so when going about deciding what's going to happen here, knowing exactly who is where, and having, justifiable reasons for them being there so that it's not unnecessarily targeting, players and their characters and all of that with encounters that are now not as balanced because it's not a full party, etc.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So sounds like
So Katla
Katla's
should
gonna go
go
to the
with
city.
us?
Katla's gonna go to the city. I've changed my mind.
So
Gorakul, sorry, you're gonna get stuck there.
so as Scout and Gorakul settle in for the long wait of you guys going to town, with the hastily cobbled together plan, you're not even sure who's going to pay for workers or how the negotiations are going to work yet, but you're going to go to town and try to get some supplies and workers to haul the stone is the general gist of the plan that you're going forward with. And Gorakul and Scout have decided that their best use is to guard the stone for now, and so that is what happens as you guys continue along the hillside pathway towards the town. It starts to get a little bit later in the afternoon, though not dark just yet. When you come to a clearing with a freshwater pond and some fruit trees, and this is a good spot to stop and rest, either to camp for the night or at the very least to get your rations in before continuing on, because hiking for 16 hours straight is just not possible. And so as you guys come to slow down by this pond, you have a moment to rest and discuss exactly what you want to do.
Well, it's very comfortable here next to the forest cave. I'm looking forward to eating, but there's this voice in my head that says we might have made the wrong choice. Keeps talking to me about our ill-conceived plan to get resources and find, with gold that we don't have, the people to come help us. I don't know. Is this a well-considered option?
I'm especially
Hmm.
Pesci's opinion.
Well, it's possible that we can weave a story that would speak to the overall desire to want to do more and to help out their fellow being. As he looks around between Lucy and Zarash and realizes he's the only non-animalistic person here.
Well, I mean, I'm also there.
Yes, that is true. But he didn't want to exclude the other two that could easily hurt him.
So, I guess we should eat something while we're thinking about this. So we're going to take one of our days of rations here, I assume.
How many days have we been since we left town? I thought it was like 2 or 3.
Yeah, and then yes, you need to eat something for today at the very least, because it's going to take you another day to get back to town.
Okay, I'm updating my rations by 1.
And
Unless I have reason to
trees and
otherwise.
fruit trees around?
Are
No.
there fruit trees around?
Yes, indeed, there are fruit trees all around. In fact, some of them are in full ripe bloom right now.
Okay. So can we
Is it edible?
He's not answering.
Well, I mean, you can roll a knowledge nature to see what you know about.
Don't I have a lot of knowledge? Misha?
You probably do. You have to figure out where that is in your
I gotta
abilities.
get this dog off.
All right.
Skills? Uh,
12.
Is that?
Oh, LD, of course, knows everything.
I got
This
it.
is why I travel with LD.
Yeah. So yeah, no, they're fully tasty and nutritious.
Okay.
Right, let's gather some up and
Neat.
We should gather more up so we can sell them at town.
yeah, that's a very good idea.
Lucy, as you are looking around, you should roll your survival.
Uh-oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
Those are not words I wanted to hear. Where's survival here?
Oh, no, it's only Elodie right now, not you.
Don't have a...
Wait, am I supposed to do something now? What?
No,
Roll.
Lucy.
Lucy, I'm sorry, you. That's right.
I was like, I don't think he said me.
Oh.
Yep. Sorry, I apologize.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
Misunderstood. Big number.
All right. Lucy, as everybody is gathering fruit, you see more clawed tracks all around this area. This cave system seems to be home to something.
Okay. That makes sense.
All right.
So Lucy tells everybody, right?
Yeah.
Hey, gang, guess what? We're not alone.
Okay.
Company.
So we see these claw tracks.
Well, if Lucy points them out to you, otherwise no, because Lucy's the only one good enough to have like spotted all these tracks.
So guys, see these tracks? Those are claw marks. So something's living in the clay cave, and we're right. It's we're right in its path.
All right. Do I recognize the claw marks? The type of animal it is?
You can roll for knowledge nature, but Lucy can tell you otherwise. They are bear marks.
Bear marks.
Bear marks. Like my kinds of bear marks? My kinds of bugbear marks?
No,
Not
no,
my friends?
no bug in front.
No, no
Oh, regular bear. Okay.
So should
Um,
we investigate? We can't actively see anyone coming. Should we should we get a start on it and try to see if anything is heading our way since we're planning on resting here?
Or do we have to rest here?
Question. Hold on one second. Speak with small beast. Bear is not a small beast.
No, it is not.
But if we hug them,
Are there small beasts here?
Scout suggests we.
There probably are.
Okay.
I mean, not right in front of you or anything like that. So.
Okay. Never mind if there's no small beasts that are in the immediate area.
they may not care at all.
I mean, so I guess the only concern I think we would have would be just that we don't get attacked by the bear while we're resting, right?
Right.
So what can we do to make sure we're not attacked by the bear, short of making sure that we physically can't be attacked by this bear?
Because that would be unbearable.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's a number of things that you can do pretty much, all the same options that you would, expect to have. You can go see if there even is a bear around. Just because there's bear marks here doesn't mean that this is the cave where the bear lives. You can also, just move along, but then you risk getting caught, out in the open at night, and that can leave you vulnerable to other threats. But at the same time, if you're worried about the bear, you can set up a sentry to where somebody's always on watch. So.
I've got a question, DM. So, would my animal handling skills be helpful in any way in terms of trying to figure out, a way to be safer where we are?
Well, the animal handling will help you if you end up having to deal with the bear. Knowledge nature and survival would be what would help you, like, set up for that. And you guys are being given like the general set of knowledge that you would have for the bear based on Lucy's survival role there. So.
So everybody just get some sleep, and I'll stay up and I'll watch. Easiest thing to do.
Well, we should probably have a watch. Well, why don't we just set up like a good away from its normal path and make sure that we're not in its way as best we can. And make sure, and if these tracks are actually old and it hasn't come by this area in a while, then we'll probably be safer. But we should have a watch at least.
Sure.
A rotating watch.
Would I know the age of the tracks?
If you had rolled higher.
So that's fine. Let's move into the underbrush and let's set up camp and let's do a rotating watch and let's get some sleep. Sound good?
And let's make
Sounds
sure we don't
good.
have any specific food on us, so that way the bear doesn't attack us directly.
Well, I've
We
already
can gather more food in the morning.
Well, we can set up a bear bag. I take my backpack, put all the food into it, ask someone to climb up a tree about 10 feet away from, or 20 feet away from where or 20 yards away, or 10 yards away from where we're sleeping, put it in a tree so the bear can't get to it, and then we go to sleep.
Okay.
Does someone do that?
Yes, Lucy does that.
Okay.
'Cause Lucy can climb trees well.
Among other things.
among-
Lucy's multitasking.
You don't want to put it, yeah. So basically, we get all the things that
Mhm.
the bear could smell from us when we put it in the bag.
Sounds good. So we're gonna move over into the underbrush, like where I am. Cool.
Who's moving?
Right.
All right. So as everybody falls asleep, Zarash, roll a wisdom save.
A wisdom save. Let's see here. Wisdom. Where is that? That's under main. That's under wisdom here. Got it. Big numbers.
Is that big enough, DM?
All right. As you are resting, you know, you're on watch, but you're just kind of leaned up against one of the tree stumps and thinking about bugbear stuff, you know, whatever fights and stuff that bugbears think about, and as you're doing so, you roll a perception check.
Ability. Sorry, skills. Perception.
That's pretty good. All right, let's see what these guys get.
Ooh, there's plural.
Plural?
These guys. Plurals.
There's more than one bear.
I don't know. We'll find out.
It's a family. It's a baby and a mama.
It's a mama, a father, and a baby. And there's porridge involved.
Really, there's not a separate skill for stealth? I thought for sure there would be. Huh.
I have stealth.
No, this thing.
This thing that we're about to meet. This friendly thing. It'll be like a Care Bear.
Ah, okay. So you notice a tiny dragon-like humanoid sneaking up to the food bag and trying to steal it.
Did who took their kobolds? I assume that's why I see kobold. Do I recognize them as kobolds?
You indeed would recognize it as a kobold, yes.
Does somebody have the translation stone that was afforded to somebody, or is that someplace else?
I
No,
do.
but oh, you do. Cool.
Do.
I was gonna suggest waking up Katla because she's a dragon.
So I wake
Obviously, all dragons speak the same language as other things that are dragonish.
I wake up Elodie and say, Elodie, there are kobolds trying to steal our food. Can you talk to them?
I can try. I take out the necklace and I would offer it towards them, I guess, to see if I could try to convince.
Towards them.
You're not there.
I'm just suggesting out of character.
Just let's let her do her thing. Mm-hmm.
Since, I mean, when we were in the caves, the way they went about trying to get us to trade for the necklace is basically just offering it forward. So I guess I try. I'm not 100% sure if both need to be touching it. That's just what happened before when I tested it out with Gorocool.
Right. Okay, so as you stand up and motion towards the tiny humanoid, it quickly grabs the bag of food, screams "Yip yip yip yip," and runs and runs. And you guys can either roll initiative to try to catch him or like watch as he runs.
Why don't I roll initiative? Let's see what happens. Because I don't like things getting out of hand. Just initiative. Sure.
What's initiative?
Oh, that sucks. Elodie's awake. You want to try it, Elodie?
Sure. All right.
Not good.
Well, she rolled better, but I think that's it. Everybody else is asleep technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So Elodie, you step forward, and the kobold grabs the food and runs. And so the kobold is right here. And then it runs towards the caves.
Oh.
No, we're not.
We're not going in the caves. I'm sorry.
No, I agree.
I mean, there's probably, I mean, is there more fruit on the trees? Like, that's what's in the bag, right?
No,
Yeah.
all of your food was in the bag.
All of it?
Yeah.
That was the bear bag.
I thought it was just the fruit. Wow. Okay.
No, it's all the food.
Well, then we probably need to go get the food.
Okay, let's go get the food.
Should we wake everybody? Because, like, I'm pretty weak. I mean, you're very strong, but, like, are we the best duo for this?
No, we're gonna wake everybody. All right, stole our food. We gotta go get it back. Is everybody awake?
Okay.
Clearly, we gotta go into the caves.
Well, you don't have to.
There's no magic spell to like
You want to shoot him?
freeze him.
Well, you just woke up, so you're not gonna be able to shoot him.
No,
so-
not me. Just this. What's her name?
Does Elodie have something?
Elodie or Katla has something.
Well, so Katla's just been woken up. Elodie was awake. She has initiative, so theoretically she could try something. But the question is now the kobold is gone and into the.
Roll initiative.
Not yet. No, DM hasn't told us to do that.
No. You guys are gonna have to re-roll initiative once everybody's awake, and
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're ready.
Oh, dang.
That's all right. We're gonna go into the cave. Sounds like we have to go into the cave. Let's do it. Let's go get our food back.
This.
Elodie
Kobold
just
came
sets
and
off
took the
towards.
food, and you let them take the food.
So
Okay.
it's dark.
Okay.
It's dark, and you guys can see by the moonlight, that the caves are going to be very dark.
Okay.
What do I
we-
see with my dark vision?
Have anything?
Shades of gray, 50 of them.
Shades of gray. 50 of them. Okay, great.
That would be better. I don't know.
All right.
Let's. Okay, we should figure out what order we want to go in. So, like, Zarash should probably be in front as the big guy.
Yeah. Katla's second, and then you and Petchy, and then you got Lucy in the back.
Do we need to roll for something?
Not yet.
Yeah,
no.
that sounds good.
Yeah, I think that's what it is because you're gonna have.
Where am I?
You're in the back because you're gonna
I'm
be
always in the back.
well, but you're gonna be shooting and you're perceiving, and that's what you're doing, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So now we're at the front of the cave. What do we see, or what can I have
So
dark vision.
you see multiple entrances, but you choose one of the tunnels, and peering in with your dark vision, you see the gray walls of the cave are rocky and jagged. They're not very smooth at all. You could get hurt if you stumbled and fell here. The floor, though, seems to be far more worn, as if an entire civilization has walked on this for, hundreds of years.
Do we know which cave the kobold went into?
Just he went into this entrance, but the caves like have twisting paths once you go in.
Okay.
All right.
So we can't track him, is what you're saying?
Right. It's smooth stone, so.
Okay.
Pesci, do you recognize this place?
What?
Is this from another of your fair tales and stories?
Do I recognize this? Do I know any tales that I could draw from?
It's a cave.
Okay, I don't. This location does not hint towards a tale that is within my knowledge. However, there are tales of heroes going into mazes that have left marks to retrace their paths. So maybe we should. I do not have any chalk. However, it may be possible to leave a mark behind so that way we know which direction we came from.
Maybe with a weapon, we can, a sword, we can.
Should we? Let me ask another question. Should we proceed without scouting Goracle, or does that not seem necessary?
I mean, we don't have food.
Well, there's plenty of food. There's plenty of food around. It sounds like if we needed it. But we do need to get our food back, so let's just go with it. Okay. All right. I think we should be able to figure out how to get back.
I think we should just proceed. And if we can mark along the way, that would be great. But I also think it's not like the end of the world. I don't know how complex this is, but I do have a decent sense of direction.
Okay.
So, DM, I have some candles. I could potentially use that to mark the wall. Could I not? I mean, if I rub a candle up against a wall, it should leave behind a waxy substance.
Right. As well as that will mark something, yes.
That's better than nothing, and it won't. My point is that if I use my weapon to score a mark, it's going to create noise, which I think we want to try to avoid doing, right?
Right.
So.
The other thing, though, is the place is pretty dark. So wouldn't we want to just save the candles to actually deal with getting better perception, darker and deeper into the caves?
Well, I can see currently. If we have some torches, then I can light them with prestidigitation. When we get into a situation where we are encountering enemies, and in the meantime, we can kind of guide the people who have dark vision can kind of guide people in the cave itself until we get into a better location.
Okay.
I can use prestidigitation to instantaneously clean or soil an object no larger than 1 cubic feet. So I could potentially I can make a mark appear on a surface for an hour. I can only have 3 of these marks, though. Oh, no, this is an instantaneous effect.
Okay.
DM, how many am I reading this spell right with prestidigitation? Can I leave a mark and I can leave as many marks as I want? Or is that considered a non-instantaneous effect?
each use of prestidigitation would reset, so you can only have one at any time.
That's if something is that lasts, right? Something that required that it's not. Okay, yeah, I see. The pieces that are instantaneous are marked as instantaneous. So those are the things that I don't need to concentrate on. They don't count because it either happens or it doesn't. But I can. Okay. Cool. All right. So I'm going to use my candle to score the wall as we go in locations where we turn, so I know which direction we came from.
Okay. Well, it might not be that deep of a cave system, so let's go figure it out. All right. So we are going to move forward from here.
Let's go forward stealthily and quietly.
Okay. So I'm now here. Katla's behind.
So you can only move half your speed, and you have to roll stealth if you're trying to move stealthily.
All of us roll stealth?
Yeah.
Really not stealthy today. So sorry.
You're not? Skills. Stealth.
Shame with my +4. I still didn't.
Okay, well. At our first wrong one. Not sleight of hand.
I did
Stealth.
the wrong one?
Yep, you tried to perform a magic trick, card trick.
I did. Oh, so that's because they're right next.
Okay.
That was a low. I couldn't
Yeah,
see
that's fine. We might not have encountered anything yet. Do we see anything?
No, you see the cave system stretches out ahead of you.
Okay. Left or right? East or west? Opinions?
I would say
I think we should go right.
left. To be
You just wanted to
contrarian.
start trouble?
I need to be contrarian.
All right, I'm going to go right. Should I roll stealth
That's
again?
left.
No.
We have no stealth, apparently.
No, you guys rolled stealth. That is your stealth check.
Okay.
Which is
All right. Anything here?
The cave system continues to stretch out before you. It is very dark. It is very quiet in the cave at night as well.
Okay.
I sleight of hand out. Just for
So we don't. It's definitely this is a trap.
Oh, sure. Of course it is.
Yeah. Pesci is kind of tugging at your clothes at this point. This is a
Same.
trap.
We should go back. We should go out.
We can get out. Come on.
I mean, we still need the food though.
Well, can we survive on fruit until we can get more?
I mean, we're only a day out from the
Yeah.
camp, from the village, and the food that was. It was basically just our rations and whatever fruit we carried, and my backpack.
I guess, honestly, also the thing is, like, if the Cobalt brought it back to like a group of Cobalts, from my experience of seeing them eat, it's all gone.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go out.
Okay, so we're gonna
I'm
go.
gonna back up, and you guys can, and I'll come up the flank.
Okay, so we're gonna go back out, and we're gonna wait till
can go
morning,
right
and then
back
we're gonna
out here.
go, and then we're gonna go to the city. Is that the plan now?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So we should all go back over to where we were
Well,
sleeping.
why don't we hold up right here for a moment?
Okay.
I want to try something. DM.
Mm-hmm.
I want a minor illusion where that fork is in front of me. A noise of a party bickering in the fork of the 3 different paths come in.
Okay.
And I want to see if that attracts the attention of anybody.
Well, the noise happens, but how are you, seeing what's happening?
I have dark vision, so I should be able to see 30 feet in front of me or 60 feet.
Right, but that's
Right.
what I'm saying is like so maybe there's something peering out from in the darkness and maybe there's not, but you can only see like 30 feet in, so the bend is like right there.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, I let it cut off, and I want to see if anything comes along to investigate it. Basically, I want to see if I can draw anything out into a spot that I can perceive them.
Okay. Roll for perception.
There's perception. My perception's terrible today.
All right. He stealths past and you didn't notice him.
Okay. No, it looks like they're further in than I expected. I don't know where they are, and this is very unsafe.
Okay. So we're back to.
I've heard tales of groups of adventurers being attacked by large groups of kobolds.
Okay. So we're back to plan A, which is let's finish off our night, and we'll get to we'll get down to the town.
Let's not sleep in the spot that we were sleeping before.
Go over
Sleep
here.
in the trees over here. Yeah.
Okay. Gonna move yourself.
Can we collect
Collect some
in the
fruit.
morning?
Yeah, probably. Okay. All right. Here's where we're at.
So, as the night passes, you guys wake up in the morning and you find that there are markings on the ground, basically warnings from the kobolds that if you enter the cave again, you're gonna die.
Okay. Sounds like a good thing that we chose not to go in the cave.
This is in Draconic, or a language I don't recognize.
No, it's just like symbols.
Okay. Okay.
So let's collect some fruit and then start heading towards the town. If there is any fruit left, I guess I should ask that first.
Why take the risk?
And there should be fruit. You can collect it.
Well, roll for survival to see if you can forage enough food.
Everybody?
Everyone who wants to eat a ration. Oh, and everybody needs to erase their rations.
Right, but we all ate yesterday.
Yeah, everybody did eat yesterday. Exactly. That's yes.
Yeah. Right. So
I got a nat 20. Yes. What was the name of the Draugr that I was telling about before? The Viking that was that attacked all those towns and stuff in the last session. What was his name? Does anyone recall?
I do not recall the name of that driver.
Fire breather, something like that.
I was not there.
I was not there either.
You were there. That was the Spectre we fought.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
I was not there.
Yeah, fire breather or something. I am focused on what's going on right now, so I'm having a brain fog moment and can't remember. But yeah,
He had a symbol that was all over the grave, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay. As Pesci is gathering up his food very expertly, he's going to mark the symbol on the wall of the fire breather on the cave. Not in the cave, on the cave.
You go
Quietly.
up. You go up to the cave.
I want to stealthily get to. I'm just going to move my character like here-ish.
All right, roll for stealth.
What are you doing that for, Pesci?
Because Pesci is angry that he lost all his food, so he wants to leave some scary mark behind that they don't understand.
Well,
To see if they.
anytime you're rolling a natural 20, you can do whatever you want.
And so you sneak up to the cave, and despite the fact that they had poison-tipped arrows ready to shoot anyone who entered, you managed to sneak past their guard and carve your symbol. You guys head back to the town after, having your rations stolen. You make it back to Brobrod, and I butchered that horribly. But as you guys pull up, you see the simple farmers going about their simple farming, and what do you guys do?
Buy food?
Well, we'd like to figure out how to buy food and to buy a cart.
Or
A strong enough cart that's strong enough to carry a big rock.
Who has money?
Do we have a sample of the rock with us, right?
I don't remember anybody grabbing a sample of the rock.
I thought I mentioned that we should bring back a small
did.
chunk that we can carry.
Gorkle told me, yeah. Gorkle tells me that I grabbed a sample. I basically took my sample of the rock so I could bring it back.
Okay.
Right. So
Suresh, why don't you let me borrow that sample?
You can borrow that sample.
Okay. DM, I have an idea. Is going to set up in a part of town where there's a lot of people coming and going, so he can get the maximum amount of attention here. And what he's going to do is he's going to reenact this meteorite falling into the ground with using prestidigitation and minor illusion to kind of mimic the light effects and everything that were coming off of this rock as it was shiny and attractive. And basically what he's doing is he's going to put on this performance to try to get as many people as possible to be interested in seeing this thing and to potentially 49er it over to this meteorite to collect it, to bring it back to town.
Right. Okay.
So I'm creating a gold rush, guys.
Okay, I am looking forward to that performance.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how good his performance is. Oh man, it bounced back.
Yeah,
I haven't.
unfortunately, you are using so many gnome like idiosyncrasies and inflections that like the human population of this town is just completely put off by your fey performance, and as a result they kind of turn away from you, except for uh three old timey like prospector looking guys with you know, one tooth on the upper jaw, and they're just like, "Oh, tell us more."
I say there be gold in them mines out there. I take on their mannerisms and their way of speaking and everything as best I can, and I say, there be gold out there in them mines, out in yonder hill, but we need wagons. Do you have wagons?
We got something better than wagons.
What do you
What be
have?
that?
We
What
got
we got?
we got old Jake.
Uh-oh. A mule?
Yeah.
It's a mule. We'd love to borrow you.
Mule.
Can we borrow your mule? Can we pay you for it?
Old Jake only works for us, but that's all right, 'cause we'll come out there and we'll help you.
Right. Can we do they seem trustworthy?
Oh hell yeah, we seem trustworthy.
All right, DM, what's their intention here?
You could go ahead and roll insight.
This I did okay on.
Yeah, they seem, you know, like simple folk, to be sure, but
Okay.
you know, someone who could likely be trusted to
do the work.
do the work. They seem
Okay.
like they've
Okay,
done
great.
work.
Okay. So the only thing we're missing in this case is just a wagon that we can use.
We got
so
old
I asked
Jake.
them,
Old
You get-
Jake will haul
old Jake-
anything.
old Jake plus a wagon can haul a lot more than anything. Eh?
I think the DM's telling us that
Old Jake.
old Jake's enough. I don't know.
No, God no, that's not.
Okay.
Nope.
She's like, I don't trust
So
you.
we need a wagon. We also need to find a place to buy rations. Can we find a place to buy rations?
Well, this is
We still don't have any money, right?
yeah.
No, true.
This
least
is
I've
this is a simple farming community, so they don't have like a ration supply store for adventurers like that. But
Can we see if we could like find work, like minor work to do where we would be able to get food in return since they're farmers?
yeah,
Right,
but you don't want to enter into that because that's indentured servitude at that point. But
I've got a character that has 17 gold pieces. At least that's one on my treasure list. I got another that's got 13 gold pieces and 15 silver pieces. So theoretically,
Can we negotiate for some food that we can bring with us?
yeah, so the issue is that the food that they have is not set up as like these easily broken up rations, you know, like here's a day's worth of rations for an adventurer. You know, these guys have food in the form of many medieval towns where they have stores of wheat that gets baked into bread on a daily or weekly basis, and they have you know, hunters who go out and supply some fresh meat, but a lot of it is like stored and prepared, you know, meats, but it's a whole slab of an animal, so they don't, you know, have just like these rations that they can just sell you like that. Is kind of the issue with that. And then also when it comes to the wagons, this is a working community, so wagons they have, but wagons they need for performing farming work. And so if you're trying to buy a wagon off of someone, you're going to have to negotiate and try to get them to sell you their wagon, pretty much.
Okay. Anybody around that we can see in visual range with a wagon or two wagons, preferably?
Well, there's farmers with wagons all around this village. I think there's like 4,000 people here. But even if there's only 1,000, that's still like, hundreds of farmers. So,
All right. So why don't we find a farmer with a farmer who appears to be.
Ask the mining guys. Is there anybody they know? They know a guy who's got a wagon?
They have old Jake.
We got old Jake.
You don't know anybody with a wagon?
Right. Who needs a wagon when you got Jake?
All right. So DM, I want to see if I could find a farmer who I can convince with a wagon, who I can just convince to come with us for. I think it's a day's journey to there and a day's journey to where we need to go. Is that right?
Yep.
So 3 days?
Well, yeah, round trip, yeah.
3 days total?
Yeah.
All right. I want to convince a farmer with a wagon, along with to help for 4 days' time, and in return, he'll be given what he needs to get by for that time.
Oh, you'll replace what he would have gotten? Yeah, no thanks. I need to work my crops. But also, first, as you approach him, he's like, "Oh, ain't you that weird gnomish performer?"
Performer? My character acts as if he's just been shot through the heart.
So I walk up to the same guy and would pull out my sword and say, "Are you offending my friend?"
Whoa! Don't make me call down the constabulary.
He's asking.
No.
He's asking.
Darash, it is okay. He just doesn't know any better. It's fine. Don't worry. I'm not offended by his massive insults whatsoever. Now, however, you can make it up to me, as obviously you should know better. And that is to you don't even need to come with me, but you could send a man with you with a wagon to help us move this grand shiny gemstone such as this, as he shows the gemstone that he was given as a sample. Shiny gemstone such as this to is this the community that we're trying to transport to? Is it a different one, DM?
This is where you're trying to come back to. This is the village. But
this
also,
is it?
Zarash, you need to roll intimidate with advantage because you're a bugbear wielding a big sword. And then Pesci, then you roll persuasion. With disadvantage because he just got intimidated. Oh, no, with advantage there, Zarash. So roll one more time.
Didn't help me much.
Oh, wow. That was crazy. Never mind. He wasn't that intimidated, so you don't have disadvantage, Pesci.
Okay. Come on, something. I'm using my inspiration.
How much will it cost?
I use my inspiration.
That's what we're finding out.
Oh my god. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
How much do you have?
I've got 5 pieces of gold.
Nope, no deal.
6.
Never mind. He obviously doesn't know fine art enough to assist us. He would be useless in this endeavor. We should find someone who can actually help us.
I know fine art, and with that, he just starts busting out like the latest thing from a play. Oh, but he sucks too. He's like trying to have an act off with you where he's like just reciting some soliloquy and he's terrible. It's terrible.
Look,
I can't. He obviously has just thrown down, and I cannot resist. I just kind of mouth off some poetry that I remember from off the top of my head.
It's not terrible, you know.
look, the two of you, looks like the two of you are beginning to get along. Why don't we settle for 10 gold pieces?
No, I'm even more upset now. He just like embarrassed me.
Don't you forget it. I will embarrass you. I will drag your name through the mud, sir.
He just Goodwill Hunting me.
Does anybody have a spell that can charm or convince somebody?
I do, but
hey,
no, actually,
I'm gonna definitely get the constabulary now. Talking about
I do not have a spell to do that.
Witchcraft and bespelling me.
All right, well,
sir. I don't think you're worth anyone's time to do that. Don't worry. Now, move along. Go away. He's totally Officer Barbarating this. Move away. Nothing to see here.
Get out of here, NPC.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, that failed. Freaking can't believe I.
Is there anyone else we could try on, but with like different methods? Like,
yeah,
I can be pretty persuasive, so like I could try to do something.
Sure.
See if you can find some pay here, Elodie. I'm assuming this is what Zarash and I have spend our time trying to do in the meantime. I'll be back in a moment.
Is there someone else I can see that would like have a cart, or like would anybody have a cart? So
yeah, there's
all right.
You know, tons of different, you know, wagons and carts being put to use here in this farming village, so you can approach, you know, a bunch of different people. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I assume I don't really have any preference, so I approach someone.
Yeah.
And go up and
say. You find a older gentleman pulling a horse-drawn wagon down the street. It's empty. It was filled this morning, but he's already dropped off his load for the day, and now he's hauling his empty wagon back home.
Okay, so I approach him, say, "Hello, good sir. Me and my friends have been journeying for quite some time, and we're in need of using a wagon for a few days. Some money so we could compensate you for your time and your and the journey if you would like to come with us to make sure your cart comes back okay, or if you would let us borrow the cart for 3 days."
How much?
I don't remember how much they have. They start with like 5 gold pieces.
5 gold? The cart's worth 20.
How many gold does everyone have? Look in your inventory.
So,
I think carts are worth 10, by the way. But he's trying to haggle, so.
So I've got 17, so you can go up to 10, Elodie.
Just tell him that you only need to borrow it for 2 days.
No, we're gonna buy it at this point. If he's at
Oh, we're
10,
buying it.
10.
Okay, so I offer 10.
15.
And I also okay. Well, I'm gonna
Okay,
add into this
15
bet.
deal.
What?
You said okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear it.
He
That's-
said
but
15
that's not what
and you said okay and I said okay, 15 deal.
No,
Oh, 15 gold pieces. Yeah, see that's what I thought. Yeah. But it can
That's
only hold 200
not what I
pounds?
was trying to.
That's not good. You guys need more than that.
We can do it in multiple trips. We have Jake.
Right? You got Jake.
You got Jake. That's right.
We
So you
can
got Jake
we can
and Bart.
split it up into multiple pieces and just haul it back and forth if we actually own this thing.
That's right. Let's do it. 15 gold pieces. Buy it. You're done. There you go.
I can throw in 5 gold.
Yep. Okay. So,
What do I have?
I still want 20.
now you said 15.
Oh, you got me.
15.
You got me. All right, so the NPC reluctantly parts with his cart.
All right. So
Um,
I'm gonna take my carried coin down to 7, and I'm gonna take.
I removed 5 from my treasure.
Good.
Okay. So Elodie, you don't have to worry about taking anything out.
I don't think I have any.
Now we have a cart.
Now you have a cart.
We
Okay.
also need some stonemason's tools because if we're going to break this thing apart, we need to have tools to do it. So, can we get like a hammer and chisel and some other stuff, or does do the miners have this?
They have a pack of tools, but you don't know what they all have.
I'm
Hey,
going to
Mike.
ask them. What tools are you bringing with you?
Well, just all the regular stuff.
Like
What's
like
Let's
what?
be more specific.
pickaxe, chisels,
Just
hammers?
stuff. Chisels.
Stuff?
Yeah.
Will you be able to break up a large piece of stone into other smaller stones?
Oh, we'll break it real good.
We'll break it real good. All right.
Break it. Break it. Really.
We should probably just acquire our own hammer and chisel, some tools for ourselves so we can assist. Can we, DM, can we buy some tools for this?
You could.
All right, where can we go buy tools?
Well, now here is where being a farming community, it actually is in your benefit because there's always supply stores, selling stuff. They have everything you could need.
Okay, so we need a hammer.
That is 1
Fancy
gold
grounds.
piece.
Okay, and we need a chisel. Is that what you're saying? All right, so I'll add a hammer. And how much is a chisel?
There is no chisel.
Sorry, DM, I missed you. What was that?
There is no chisel.
Just a hammer. Oh, whoops! You already you got the hammer in there. Okay, well, the hammer should be able to break this up, right?
Yeah. There's also a miner's pick, and that's 2 gold pieces.
Okay, so let's get the miner's pick.
It'd have to be a sledgehammer, not a hammer.
Okay.
Can we convince him to just sell it to us for less money?
Nah,
Obviously, this is a used miner's pick and hammer. Like, look at this. There's scrapes all over the place here. Obviously, this has been a more than lightly used. These are more than lightly used tools. You should sell this to us for cheaper because we are taking these offhand for you and disposing of them with the way this looks.
You can roll for persuasion, and you get a point of insight for trying.
Fantasy Grounds crashed on me. Can you unlock my character, please?
Yes.
So this is turning out to be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once they have to go, then we're gonna flash over to what has been going on at the campsite the whole time because they're gonna. Well, you'll see.
You're both dead. Just want to let you know now.
Yeah.
All right, so let me roll persuasion. You said I have a point of insight with this?
No, and then you get a point of insight. You roll persuasion,
Okay.
and then you get a point of insight. All right. So he is willing to knock 1 gold piece off the price of all of it, so you get 1 gold piece back.
Okay. Got it. All right, so we got a wagon, we got a bunch of miners, and we got Jake.
The important part.
And we're ready to go back to the
What are
camp.
you gonna eat?
Yeah, we
Oh,
need to get
right.
some food. Can we get some bread? And I
Yeah,
guess
whatever meal they can give us that we'll be willing to pay for.
Yeah. So
fruit.
so they're willing to sell you some, stale bread and stuff that you can use, but it's only going to get you 1 day's worth of rations. So you guys have to subtract 1 silver piece each, and then you get 1 ration to be able to get you out there, and then you're going to have to forage for what you can find. So getting back home is not going to be fun.
Unless Gorakul and
Right.
Scout have some food, which they might.
Yeah, they might still have some food on them, but
Mm-hmm.
they might be running out too. So,
Well,
but
Could we maybe? Sorry.
but you guys can eat on the day, so you will only run out of rations on the trip back, not on the trip out there. So
right.
Well, we have survivalists, and there's a lot of fruit and stuff and animal and game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be okay. Let's do it.
you might live.
Probably.
It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. So as you guys are gathering up your supplies, you head back out towards the campsite. Who is guiding this expedition?
I'm in the lead.
So you would need to roll your survival check to retrace your path and find your way back out to the Starfall Caverns.
Wouldn't the ranger be leading?
I was gonna say I think the ranger would probably have that.
Oh,
skill
well
more.
then the ranger can go ahead and lead.
You're back on. Sorry.
I'm doing something.
Yeah, you got to roll the for your skills. Which skill we rolling for?
This is survival in order to find your path back.
Mm-hmm. Big roll. Big number. Big number.
No whammy, no whammy.
Yeah.
All right. So you know your way back. It's not the easiest thing to find as you twist and turn through the woods and hills, but you eventually come across. But first, you pass by the area with the kobolds, and now there is a new totem up, and it has a human skull with a painted marking across the totem, some kind of blue and purple paint with a symbol, and you're not quite sure what all of the symbolism means, but you get the overall gist.
Which is, we're glad we didn't go into the cave.
But
What's the over?
but if you are, going to proceed forward, you're passing through their territory here, or you have to try and find a new way around, is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Not going into the caves though.
Yeah, we're not going into.
No,
the caves,
not
right?
into the caves, but now they set up markers at the edge of their territory, like, hey, don't even pass in front of our caves. We will shoot you if you pass in front of our caves. Is
Do
what?
we see any kobolds in the trees or anything?
No. This is a marker like at the edge of their territory, so like you're not
Gotcha.
to the caves just yet, but
Okay, so I also created a kobold problem for the town. Nice. Can we find a way around?
yeah. Well, you can try, yeah. So if you want to just try to go around, you can do that. Otherwise, you can be like kobold warnings and just like march through their territory anyway. And
Yeah, that's worked out so well so far.
All right. Sounds like we should go around unless somebody has a better idea.
Um,
I have a feeling it won't work, but we can try.
so
well, I can give you some bardic inspiration for your survival
yeah,
check.
there you go. What you do here is you roll your survival and then roll a d6 and add that to that.
I think, unfortunately,
Yeah.
Fantasy Grounds has frozen on me again for some reason.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then you roll d6 on top of that.
What's
That little thing that says 6.
All right. So as you are finding your way around, you actually like get caught in a steeper embankment of a river than what you had anticipated, and old Jake is having trouble getting the wagon up the embankment, and it's costing you guys a lot of time, and you end up having to camp earlier than expected. And so now you guys don't have your ration anymore. You're forced to eat your ration, and you haven't made it to the Starfall Caverns yet. And as you finally get the wagon up over the embankment and to the other side, and you set up camp and you're safe, you hear the night owls and wolves howling in the distance. Here in the deep north woods, life is not over just because the sun goes down, and the whole world kind of resets into this nocturnal mode, and you can hear all of the predators making their nightly rounds as you guys camp in the tall pines. And in the morning, you guys awaken to the sun making the pine trees sweat, and the miners are brewing up a big pot of coffee, extra muddy, and even though it's not as strong as your bugbear brew, it's nice to see somebody else appreciating a cup of mud in the morning like you like, Zerash. And so the miners and you drink that while everybody else packs up camp and prepares to set out for the caverns.
Sounds good. Liking this coffee. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, you like that? It's our own special blend. We got some beans from this tusked fella. Oh, sorry. Is that offensive? We didn't mean to offend you.
Not today.
Okay.
Coffee's good.
Yeah, so he gave us some beans and we've been growing them out back behind the shed.
Well, it works for me.
Ah, cool. All right. Well, we went ahead and busted out some of the pickaxes so that we could get to work, but looks like we're stuck here. So we'll just wait until you give the order to head out, boss.
Well, let's get going.
I hope.
I hope we're off to work we go. With hand grenades and razor blades and BB. Yep.
So as you guys continue through the forest, Lucy, you need to roll one last survival check in order to find your way around. You have succeeded on 2 out of the 3.
I will give you bardic inspiration.
Yeah, so now roll the d6. You got to get a 4 or higher on this d6.
Hey.
Hey. So as you are guided by Pesci's magical guiding song, or his story about finding the path, some long play with a moral to it, you finally come upon the crest of the Starfall Cavern, and you look down at the campsite, and there is nobody there.
Along with the lack of anyone of a meteorite.
Meteorite?
You guys see the meteorite, but no sign of Scout or Gorakul. And that is where your part ends, and we pick up with how we got to that with Scout and Gorakul.
Well, they're dead. I guess that solves that problem.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go,
So
but
yep.
I'll hear what happens next time.
Yep. You guys have a great day. Thanks for playing.
Cool. Thank you. We'll listen in for a bit here
Yeah,
until
yeah.
we hit 2:30. So
Of
you're
course.
good.
Of course. All right. So Scout and Gorakul, you guys are camped at the meteor site. And as you are there,
He's gonna tune everyone's on.
you are just studying the stone, right? Gorakul, that's you spend
That's basically what I'm doing.
yeah, and Scout does his usual Warforged scouting thing where he's either in scouting or sentry mode for 23 hours a day.
Pretty much sentry and hunting wildlife
Yeah.
for the base camp.
Yeah. And
in other words, sort of like making sure the rations aren't empty.
Mm-hmm. And so, Gorakul, you go ahead and roll your astrology check. All right. you continue to make slow, progress with your analysis of the meteorite of the fallen star, and you're frustrated at times with how slow it's going. You can't really decipher what the material it is, or why it glows, or what effect it's having on the Draugr, what connection it could have to the undead.
And why it's so many in so many of the sort of prophecies, and how those slimes came to be.
Yes. Why there were so many prophecies about it, what the slimes were, and how, they're connected to this, and that reminds you that you need to go ahead and check in on your slime egg. And so as you investigate it, there is no, sign of anything from inside the jar. Do you open the jar?
I'm going to sort of carefully open the jar.
As you open the jar, you see that the egg has dried out and is a hard, like seed, but like how the mucus like stuck to the wall, now it's like dried in place. So it's just like this hard seed like cocooned in place in the jar.
So it's sort of like how the Tartar guard sort of dries up when there's no water.
Possibly.
Gorakul sort of notices this and says, and sort of decides to set up a sort of decides to set up the dried egg around a in a sort of like bowl, and sort of going to pour some water into it.
You try to get the dried egg out of the jar?
I'm going to try and fill the jar with water.
Oh, you put water in the jar.
Yeah.
Okay, you put water in the jar, and the egg is submerged in water, but it still remains, hard and rigid.
Gorakul sort of curses to himself, thinking that he's killed it and such, and he's just sort of upset about this.
Yeah. Scout, you hear Gorakul cursing in Draconic.
Eh.
Yeah. You're like, the dragons do that. So, Gorakul, as you put the egg away and hope that it eventually revitalizes, um, you go back to your research and continue to study, but eventually you get tired, and it's time to pass out. Scout, you have been out hunting, so you're going to need to roll a survival check to see how well you did at your hunting.
Nice.
Hey, dirty 20. So, you at first were after a couple of rabbits that um, you had seen in the underbrush, and now you were following them and trying to, get your open shot so that you could take at least one of them down, when suddenly you came across paths with a large stray auroch, a bull-like creature. You easily took the bull down, and now you have large quantities of fresh beef available for roasting over the fire, as well as setting up a smoker that you can smoke and dry into rations.
Let's see here. Yep, I'm going to. He's not very strong in himself, so he will take his time after gutting and cleaning it initially in the field and leaving the gutted parts for the circle of life. Using his rope, he will drag it back.
Zabenya. Okay, sorry.
Field dressing it, you know.
Yes.
Then he drags it back to camp. Very slowly, very laboriously.
Yeah, and I mean, even after field dressing it, this thing still weighs hundreds of pounds, so.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it does. So it's a very slow go.
And the auroch had huge horns too, by the way. Massively thick and long.
This is definitely going to be a very slow long haul.
Yeah, because like it keeps getting caught on the underbrush.
Yeah, he does his best very slowly. Very laboriously.
Yeah, and so go ahead and roll a constitution check, because it's not so much about the strength of it as it is about just the tiring effect of doing it, all day. And so it doesn't take you any less time. It still takes you all day, but you do muscle your way through the process of getting the auroch back to the camp, and most of it is intact. You did lose about a quarter of it. One of the back legs got caught on a rock and log and ripped off, and like there just wasn't anything you could do.
And I start the preparation of deskinning, hanging it, deskinning, cutting out the meats so that it can get prepared and dried and everything else.
Yeah. And fortunately, Scout worked with the quartermasters for a while and actually knows a little bit about butchering an animal and getting some of the best pieces out for roasting.
That will be the majority of my evening.
Yes. And so, Gorakul, you awaken in the morning to some slow, long roasted auroch that Scout's been preparing all night long, and you're able to smell it in your sleep, so much so that you were having dreams of like bacon and eggs and other delicious breakfast foods.
Mixed with dreams about the stars.
This was so overpowering that it was one of the few times your dreams weren't dominated by dreams of the stars.
Indeed.
So you
And as he-
awaken and Scout is just standing over the food, just he's turned himself into a spit, just constantly cranking some meat.
Well, Scout, I see you've been preparing the meat.
Well,
you
I
can.
figure since we set up camp, we might as well at least eat some, or you humanoids should eat something decent instead of rations.
Thank you, dear friend. This shall certainly be, is- be good at curbing my hunger.
I like how clinical he is about it. Yes, this shall certainly deal with that hunger.
Scout pays it no mind. He keeps at it until it's time for him to just go into his sentry's rest again.
Yeah, and so Gorakul, obviously Scout encourages you to help yourself to as much as you can eat, and there's a few different cuts prepared a few different ways. Um, Plus, like I said, he's preparing some rations off on the side, but he's got some really thin sliced roast pieces, and then he's got some thicker cut like steak pieces. Just all kinds of stuff ready to go. So you eat up and have yourself a hearty breakfast, and as you're doing that, you roll for perception. Oh man. Scout, you're busy making sure that the food gets cooked perfectly, and don't notice. And Gorakul, you are so enraptured with the food that you didn't notice until the last second when suddenly rearing up behind you guys is a draconic figure uh, that lacks wings but has a long lizard reptile body and tail like a dragon and the head of a dragon. This is a creature known as a guard drake, and it just is going to overpower you unless you run. And so you guys are forced to abandon everything right where it is and start running. So the first thing you have to do is roll for initiative to see if you even have a chance here. Uh, okay, so I needed to get you on the thing first, I guess, but that's all right. And then Scout 24. All right, and so now. All right, you guys both have a chance to run as the green guard drake comes slithering snake-like out of the underbrush. He was almost completely camouflaged in this forest environment with his green scales, but now, as you spot him, Gorakul, what do you say?
First off, does Gorakul know the deal with the guard Drake?
You know that it's basically a dragon. It's also not your action. Scout gets to act first, but you get to say something because you're the one who sees it.
Holy! By Orion's belt! Run!
All right, and then Scout, it's your action. What do you do?
Mm, I like to see if he's experienced a guard dragon and would have the knowledge of what their purpose would be.
Okay.
So what would that fall under? 'Cause it's not really insight. Nature?
Well, first you have to determine from your character's backstory whether or not you've encountered one, because that's going to be the number one factor right there. So if you've encountered one, then yeah, you know about them and can make your determination based off of that. If you haven't encountered one, then
Yeah, because the question is being part of the continent's military from way back. Question is would he have seen it? But we'll go with, for now, polygyny. Ugh. I'll leave that one up to you, DM.
Yeah, so you would know that the guard drakes are essentially dragons, and as essentially dragons, they are very dangerous. Now they're nowhere near an actual dragon. Like don't go thinking that they're going to mess you up like an actual dragon, but that doesn't mean that they're to be taken lightly.
Hmm. He's actually going to. Oh, this is a tough one. Is he going to be stupid or is he going to be smart? Damn it! All right, he well, he doesn't care about rations. He just grabs his gear and moves a safe distance, but he doesn't want to lose his line of sight of the Drake either. So he'll move out his 60 feet. Double action.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got to share the map with you guys. All right. So now, what do you want to do?
Let's see here. Let me get my map or a map set up. Okay. That's Garricool. There's the guard drake. So he will.
Oh no. Did you just disconnect?
There we go. There we go. My connection keeps going high and low. So he's going
right.
to move he's going to do double speed, but he won't use all 60. He's going to move to that tree line. And then he's going to observe the Drake to see what it does.
Okay. I'm not sure which tree line you mean, so I'm just gonna move you down here. Did you
there we
mean
go.
Did you mean down on the map?
It was directly straight down.
Yep.
Was what I had set up for it. It finally dropped me out of Fantasy Grounds.
Yep. All right.
I'm
Gorakul.
coming back in now.
Gorakul, sort of looking back at the guard Drake, is going to try and use his knowledge to figure out what exactly this guard Drake wants.
Okay.
What sort of role should I make, DM?
What are you trying to do?
Trying to figure out what this guard Drake wants.
Oh, okay, so you can roll an insight. It looks like it's hungry.
Gorakul sort of looks back and sees that the guard Drake is sort of drooling, and sort of seeing this is going to throw some of the meat that they've grabbed and sort of throw it to distract the Drake.
Okay.
Can you not talk to this dragon?
They don't really speak, they don't talk, but they do understand Draconic.
So you toss the meat at the guard Drake, all right?
To distract it and then sort of run over to where Scout is.
All right, you get a point of inspiration.
Thank you, DM.
And then is that your turn?
Yep. The rest of my turn will be just sort of running up to where Scout is.
The guard Drake leaps on the meat that you threw down and starts to devour it hungrily. Scout.
So you can't talk to this dragon? Because, I mean, I have no problem hunting or trying to resolve this without fighting it.
Only under it. It's like a beast. You don't. It can't really. It's not really that intelligent, but it is certainly ravenous. So it's our best option to sort of avoid fighting it.
You haven't learned anything from me yet.
Huh.
Retreating is only a temporary solution. All right. He's going to. It's going to take time to do this. So he's going to pull his short bow and knock an arrow.
Knock, knock.
And Gorakul is going to stealth and hide.
Okay, yeah. You move into the trees here and think you're hiding, but you didn't choose a really good spot.
Yep. And that time he's going to prepare a spell.
The guard drake continues to chow down on his stolen steaks.
Right. Well, he's not going to be distracted by the food for very much longer. I'm going to take a shot. $30. Can I do that? I can.
Your arrow strikes the side of the scales of the green guard drake. It wounds it.
And that will be all he can do for now.
Cool. Sort of seeing that now we're fighting it, sort of sighs before unleashing a unleashing a guided bolt. Cool, seeing that he missed, decides to use the rest of his turn to hide again.
And the guard drake turns and snarls at Scout as the arrow strikes his side, and he leaps forward to attack him.
One moment, just stealth first.
No, you can't. You can't. You don't have enough actions.
Okay, so I'm just moving over here.
You can't. Oh wait, yeah, you can do that because you didn't move. So, that's rough terrain, but that's as far as you can move.
So as I figured.
And then is that your turn? And then I bite at you. And then I tail slap you.
Oh yeah. This is gonna. Oh, this is gonna be painful. Because he's now within 5 feet, I have to drop the short bow and pull my rapier.
You can still attack.
I thought it was an action to
It's a free action to drop, and you get one free action interaction with a item on your turn in 5th edition, so you can actually draw your rapier and attack.
All right, we'll do it. I definitely won't argue that one, other than a bad roll.
Well, yeah. But still, like, it's important to get that bad roll out and not have it, later, Oh, wait, you can only move 15 feet because you moved through rough terrain, so.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm going to be using my action to stealth.
Okay. Alright. Well, that's survival. You gotta roll stealth. Alright. You try to hide in the trees. Oh, Scout, did you end your turn?
Oh, you put it back onto me. Sorry.
And then Gorakul, is that your turn? And then I attack you twice.
You can keep rolling like that too. I'm okay with those rolls. All right, let's try at it again, and no luck. All right, Garcool. Oracle.
He's going to move over here, so he's flanking, right, DM?
No.
Uh, uh, so flanking doesn't work with us spellcasters?
Not with the guided bolt like that, no.
I'm going to be dropping, so thanks, guys. I'll see you guys
Yeah.
next week.
Thanks for playing.
Thank you.
Okay. Just let me...
Once again, your magic stone skips off of the dragon's back. I attack you twice.
I refuse. Oh, oh God.
You are heavily
that-
wounded as I bite down on your leg.
Oh, that was painful. That was beyond painful. Come on.
You
roll.
could disengage.
I could, but I'm I'm not that type of guy. Oh, that is painful. Starting to get to his psyche that he keeps not being able to connect. He's going to ready. Can I ready my dodge action after they attack?
That's not a thing.
Yeah.
You can dodge or you can ready in action, but yeah. But you can't
Yeah,
do
'cause if
either
he-
of those right now because you attacked.
Correct. That's what I thought. All right.
Gorakul.
Gorakul. So, sort of word for his friend. Is going to cast healing words on them. And then use his action to hide.
Yeah. So your chanting causes a starlight to shine on Scout and he heals, and then you try to hide. The Drake whips his tail at Scout. And then bites at him.
Oh.
Scout is badly damaged as the Drake tears into him.
Getting mad, but is he mad enough? He is. Oof.
You stab at the dragon, but its tough scales reflect a lot of the damage. Now
Cool, so-
you have advantage if you attack because he wasn't focused on you when you hid.
Okay. I meant for it to be on me. Isn't that right? Oh, right.
Yeah, no, it grants advantage on the attack. That's correct.
For the next attack.
Yep.
Oh, I imagine it's sort of like a using my astronomy tools. I summon a guiding bolt, and it's sort of like this sort of like light seems to point out the weak points of the guard drake.
Yep. He tail whips Scout and he goes down into a heap of metal and he turns and he growls and starts looking for Gorakul.
Come on, Destiny. I'm resilient.
So Gorakul, seeing that things have gotten bad to worse, is going to use his ability to use his starry form.
Okay. What does Starry Form do?
You can as a bonus action, you can
What are you trying to do?
turn into the Archer constellation. You can make a range spell attack.
What is that going to do for you?
Well, it will be at advantage, and it's going to be a sort of it deals
Is
big.
what is 1d8 damage going to win this fight for you?
No, I think Chalice is going to be the best option. There's Chalice.
I see that.
I'm going to step over here and then use my action to heal Scout.
Okay.
So
Yep, first you heal Scout.
so it's going to be a 1d8 plus my modifier.
Nope. First you heal Scout.
Yeah.
Just do the healing word on Scout like you were going to do.
No, I was using Chalice form.
Yes. So first do healing word. That's what you're doing, right? Is using healing word?
No. It's a whenever you cast a spell using a spell slot.
Right.
Oh, And then 1d8 plus my wisdom modifier.
That goes to you. But you're already at full health, so you don't need to do that.
Understood? So I'm sort of transformed into a starry form and sort of like using my magic sort of heal Scout.
Yep. So Scout, you are on the ground and seeing the starlight heal you, the dragon gets upset and attacks you again. Tail whipping you and knocking you back out. And then
I know.
he charges over here and starts growling at Gorakul. Uh-oh.
Gorakul, seeing that things are getting dangerous, is going to once again use his action to disengage and heal Scout up with his cure wounds this time.
Scout is still heavily damaged and you are now out of spell slots.
Oh dear. And Gorakul sort of says, Scout, I believe now is the time to run.
The dragon goes back over by the meat and begins to eat.
So, shall we go now?
Go where? That's the problem. As I start to pick up my bow and put it away.
Well, we can certainly step away from the...
Scout reluctantly is going to move into the woods and attempt to hide.
Yeah. And so leading Gorakul off into the woods, Scout shows him how to stay hidden and away from the dragon as you guys await the party to arrive. As they come over the hill, they see the dragon sleeping on top of your goods as if it was its own private hoard. Next week, you guys will wrest control of your campsite from the scaled beast once again. I want to thank you guys for playing. I want to thank anyone who's watching. And as always, everyone, good gaming.